let's continue here with our questions. Everything's good so far, right? At least here, right? We'll find out in the comments, right? Dude, let's go. You do a lot of experiments in your studio with reverb, multipliers, etc. What was worth it and what do you take away from those processes? So,
dude, I have several. For example, let's start with the preamp, right? And there are several that are stuck. In the studio, there are some things you do yourself. No, I restore. Some others are just the way they are. And there are preamps. I took something from Janine, put a really cool transformer in it, and did an internship. The output from this preamp from Janine specifically. I can't record Arthur playing the drums, the snare drum. He goes in too loud and cracks too much, but it has to be Arthur Smooch. I can do it, you know? Because he doesn't hit as hard as the other one, Arthur, and then he hits just right for me to boost the preamp gain and get an awesome sound with our experience too. And my mixer had so many bad connections, so I stopped using it. I realized it had been months since recording. I stopped using the equalizer. When I realized, dude, it had been months since I was recording without using the equalizer. I was messing with the mic, trying to get the sound right without using EQ. And then, what a trip. What's happening here? Exploring the sound much more at the root, right? And then, what a trip. What's happening here? Exploring the sound much more at the root, right? Switching the mic, you got it. Put the mic more to the side. The guitar got fried, move the MIC away. Now it's making a lot of noise. Use two mics there, open up the stereo, one ribbon mic a bit further away so it doesn't mess up the mic, right? So the mic further away picks up a lot more leak, then you send it to the left and to the right. So the drums are going to lean this way and you push it over here. In the end of the story, you create a texture based on what's happening at that moment. Not that it's bad or good, but I decided to, let's pay to see what happens with this dream. You know, it's really cool to experience that there. There are bands that I record with 8 channels. Then the guys want to add a bunch of stuff. So we have to manage to record everyone together there. Like backing vocals together with the solo, backing vocals with the Hammond there on the same track. Because there are no more channels to do that. Why do I think so? This process isn't a hack, there's nothing wrong with it. No, because you read Gelfie Emmerich's book, and the guy said, put it on to Play Beast. Then he said, man, we won't be able to record your solo. Oh, Jorge. Because this is the last take of the orchestra here in the studio. No one is going to do another take. Then he said, put it on to record, man. I'm recording. So he recorded the solo from Something in the Way. It was like that. Which song? Something in the Way. Whose is it? Beatles?
ah, got it. English there.
I'm just kidding. I took advantage. I know you were... Go. Joke, I'll reply soon, laughter. I let it slip that you didn't hear, right? Ah, ha, ha, ha. You know, so when you heard Santa in IT again, that solo there, man, it was perfect. And everyone was like this, what? Are you going to record this? Go ahead and put it in, dude. Took a swig of the whiskey, and then he went for the solo.
That hurt a lot, didn't it? I didn't understand. Do you think that at some point, are you going to put something digital in there in the process for you? Because digital is already coming into your studio, right? The guy with the little digital pedal from Delia. There. You're not going to show the guy, right?
I'm laughing. The 5th grade exists. There's still a question there. Laughter. Man, I have a digital reverb processor and it's expensive. I don't know why. This isn't a joke or anything. When the guy plugs a pedal board into the ovulated amplifier, he ruins the sound, man. It gets really bad. The sound gets tight, like flat tangled, you know. I don't know why. I just know that the guy shows up with the pedal board. I feel like this. Wow.
Multi-effect, talking about...
Yeah. But I let the guy call there. You know, because sometimes it sounds good. There have been people who plugged in that digital pedal and the sound came out great. But I know from experience that when the guy plugs that thing into the amplifier, it's not going to work. And what about these little pedals? Shinoka, new, which is digital processing. It comes with little filtering because of the cost. And then it injects noise into the signal there and it doesn't work either. So, but like, what's that thing in the studio stuck? It's exactly that thing we were talking about, the band. take a breath and go for the take, you know. That's what makes a big difference. The difference is all of them. The second one, I would say, is a screen in my face. So all day long, right? No, a screen. And the studio is really dark. So you're just there, man, enjoying the hell out of the sound. And there's no technique either, right? So I'm listening to the guys playing. I'm looking at the guys here, like the sound of the guitar, the voice of the acoustic guitar there. I'm hearing that you're singing quieter than the guitar. So the guitar is playing too softly and the sound is turning out awful. I'm hearing it right in front of me. So I hit play here and see it didn't turn out well, you know? But then I hit play. No, that's not the sound, you know? The sound is different. So this experience, man, is huge. And the advantages, right, that I have from this over the computer freezes too, just like that. We're talking about the machine. It wasn't the machine. It works for days there without any problem. It's the computer, not you being there. When I look to the side, it's a mess. The thing went off. It stopped recording in the middle of the session, man. You don't have a computer that doesn't freeze today using Pro Tools, right? You're going to spend more than 100,000 reads there. The crowd, I think you can compare one, but you can't compare. My studio with the 24-channel machine cost $90,000 in 1990 with a PC, a Reaper, and an M audio interface, you know? That doesn't cost nearly anything. Like this, you have to make both the same. So I would equalize it. I would equalize the studio with the HD product system, which isn't the program, right? Those are like processing hacks. And the program talks directly to the hack and putting that trash can Mac Pro, which should give about 70%. Dude, today I don't know how much it's costing. A Mac Pro for sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah. But would you then equip what you have there in terms of access to 100,000 rees machine? Is that what you're talking about, more or less?
Yeah, the computer, right? I think the product is already around 40,000. If you take one of my machines there with 24 channels, it has all the functions that the Flotus has, right? The channel records, you can do punch in, punch out in the little bits, for example. Let's do a bunch of backing vocals here, gang. Vocals, right? We do a lot of that, yeah. Marco, punch in, punch out. So that part there is the chorus. I go back to the pre-roll, hit play, and I keep an eye on the guys. When he starts recording, then stops recording, you know? The machine has this super high-tech feature like from 1991. That's why, man, wow, back then it must have been amazing. That's right. And then I would compare this machine system with the Proton HDX, man, because you can't compare with a PC, can't handle it, that overheats.
I get it. But do you think that a guy with a much more powerful machine has a comparative advantage over you?
No, because he can edit, right? And I can't edit, right?
So does he have an advantage or not?
No, that's a disadvantage. Ah, got it. Because the band will have him edit, right?
In that sense, I agree with you. It's a little disadvantage for you, right?
I'm going to record a guy. It started with a classical guitar solo too. His reference is that guy, the bassola, who plays a lot of classical guitar. I never know his name, Rafael Rabello. No, someone else.
And the change, Costa, is that it's a pain to call it Brazil Blue because then it's safer.
He started the solo in my time. He couldn't do the solo and he asked me to fix it. On the computer, you got it. So we had a big fight there because I wasn't going to fix it at that time. Even recording on the computer, I was still not fixing things. I was getting the take of the whole band there. Many years ago, about 10 years since I've been doing this, recording with the sound ready and editing and tuning just a little bit on the computer, I deleted the tuning plugin for the guy so he wouldn't ask me to tune, right? And so that's the big difference, right? But I'm talking about the system, about functionality. I get to the studio, turn on the machine, put in the tape, phew, it's ready, let's go. I get to the studio, turn on the computer, open the program, done, let's record, you got it. I lived my whole life without money to buy a good computer. It was to back up, you got it. Reinstall everything in 6 months. It just keeps getting worse, right? It was terrible. It has always been terrible. I used to have a very stable system, which was a MacBook Pro with the Digi 003 and Pro Tools 8. So you have everything from the same time there, and it worked amazingly. Then you end up getting into the talk of getting a Pro Tools new. So I bought Pro Tools 9. I did an upgrade, right? And then the problem started. That's when it started freezing, right? Computer, I can no longer access the internet. I can't open anything on the computer because it's too old, you know? I have to buy another one. I can't buy a new computer. I have to buy a computer new. The sound card, new. Program, new.
To be able to turn it on and get it going, man, that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, for a guy, I was with my wife yesterday, for a guy to open a studio today, everything digital, with the dollar at $6, it's an investment that he will never get a return on. There is no return. Brother, because for a guy to have a top studio, he invests all the money in the construction and equipment. He's going to spend about 700, right?
Man, that's still not enough. Like you mentioned about equipment, right? At least you need to have a preamp, right?
So let's say $1 million the guy is going to spend. So the guy is going to charge 200 reais an hour.
Yeah, no way around it.
You have to pay the assistant technician? Brother, how much are you going to settle this bill for? Yeah, right.
That's why I think so. That's why this bill can't be settled, right? You just have to do it, right? In my studio, we charge 4,800 on the weekend to record for 3 days. I record 5 songs and deliver them, and that's it. Because of my experience with the tone and everything, people come super rehearsed. They come to record, not to produce. Otherwise, the price goes through the roof. And no, if I put it on paper, man, the amount of money that's in there for equipment, right? Let's say I would sell it for the price right there, huh? You have to keep recording for 50 years. Now, how did that thing get into the studio there? Our mystery is this. How come there's so much stuff there? Since the studio doesn't pay for itself, you got it. The studio was built with music money, no explanation inside. It was money from the music I received. So there really is no explanation for what's inside there.
And now, why do you take 3 days to record 5 songs with the guys? But why?
Because it's the most comfortable I could find.
Who has?
First day, it's ideal for the band to arrive a day early, right? So there will be 3 days of work and they can leave. You can leave on the day of the mix. So a day before, the guys get to know each other and stuff. Everyone who goes in there gets really desperate, like this, because it's really big and there's a lot of stuff. So everyone gets really lost in there. What am I going to do? So to break the ice, right? In the morning, we set up the sound. Then around lunchtime, we start recording. We record a take, stop for lunch, and then come back and keep doing the other takes. I guide the guys so they can play the game. If I leave the guys over there, they're going to keep repeating.
But can't we record everything? The 5 songs?
We record the instrumental in one day. The next day, overdubs and vocals, right?
There are people.
Because there are people who say like this, dude, I want to record at your studio. I'm going to rent it for a day just to record 10 drum tracks. For example, I say, but it's really not going to happen. Because you might be able to stay the whole day, but I won't be able to keep an eye on your recording.
It's because you're actually separating the vocals. You're recording them separately. And you're also going to mix everything and deliver it already mixed, right?
Yeah, because I record with all the sound ready, even with reverb, gate, everything. We spend a few hours setting up the sound, right? To make the sound come in beautifully, I'm going to give a cool example. I put a distorted reverb on the snare, and then it stays there. I don't know. It didn't go very well there at the time of the recording, right? We recorded the take. I'm hearing guitar, bass, drums, compressing, running it through the mastering system, all that stuff. Then I go to the snare and loosen it up. It opens up a little bit. Let a little bit of harmonic open up, loosen it a bit, but keep the recording gate on it and use the same reverb so the sound comes in beautifully, you know? So I would never do that in the mix because I would have recorded it wrong. Got it. So I invested in tuning the snare and it came out much nicer in the mix.
I got it, yeah, but hey, mixing in front of the guys is kind of complicated, right?
Yeah, no. The little guy keeps bothering. No, he doesn't.
I prefer to let the guy mix, and then I come in to fix things, you know?
But while the band is setting up the sound, I'm already working on the tone. Mixing isn't like that. Let's see what we're going to do. No, it's about whether we can turn up the volumes and add a little bit of alcohol there. And it's not this mixing that we learned. I'm going to say it again. We learned mixing wrong. We learned that you record like this and then you make the sound happen in the mix. What's going to happen with that? You're not going to be able to make the sound happen in the mix. Or are you going to have to settle for that weak sound you can get by recording directly and making it work in the mix? Then it goes back to that reference topic again. In the future, the sound will be weak and everyone will accept that. And when you make a recording, accept that as a recording. And when you make a recording, tough shell there, recording everyone, getting the tone right, People are going to turn their noses up at that. They, you know,
Got it. I got it.
and I hope to be dead on that day. It's the issue of reference we were talking about, right, man?